Hey, my name is PolishLynx, and let's continue the letter horror visual novel. Alright, for I'm able to keep myself professional at all times does not mean I like it. And seeing that most of the day has already gone by before I realized it, I chose to head back to my flat instead. Despite today being a Saturday. No fun, but at least this way I can definitely avoid another unpleasant encounter. You know what he's talking about. Considering how much I'll be seeing whiskey in the near foreseeable future, I have a feeling I'll need all the rest the weekend can give me. For the first time in a long while, excited as I am to work on the mission, I cannot wait to be over and done with this project. Understandable. It's really understandable. More day couldn't come any sooner. After taking the floor plans from Miss Santos the day before the last, I spent most of my Sunday drawing up plans and calling my suppliers. Although no design choices have been made yet, I am quite sure that they want high-end appliances, the most expensive materials and the most pretentious everything. They usually did, these rich types, based from experience at least. Given how badly this whole thing started, it wouldn't have to be repaired. I have to check myself, make sure I'm not playing with my gloves as one of the other building tenants takes the elevator up with me. It makes me self-conscious when the woman's eyes go over me, and I'm sure she was going to point out some perceived flaw in my physical appearance. But I'm safe from being paranoid when they went off a few floors later. Still, the ride up to my floor is nerve-wracking. Nerve-wracking, okay. The rides lift at the very top, the penthouse, the creme de la creme when it comes to condominium and our urban living. Just getting access to the place is an ordeal of its own. I had to jump so many hoops, so many security checks, just to secure a key card. Not only because of building management, but because of the ride's personal security. Also known as Johannes, I bet. It felt like I'm being interrogated for a crime and not visiting a client at their home. Even when their personal assistant called in to help out and verify my presence, the process is aggravated rather than hastened. Speaking of the devil. Told you it was him. The elevator door opens and I'm greeted by none other than Whiskey's not so little Lucky.
I do apologize if I kept Mr. and Mrs. Wright waiting. But I'm here now and I'm ready, so if I may, where are they?
Not here.
They've just woken up, but they should be down soon. I'm surprised to see you made it through security, and only 5 minutes late.
You said I'd be through security soon, and it took half an hour. Define soon in this context.
I'd make myself comfortable if I were you. I'm going to go and put the kettle on.
About the tea, I don't want to intrude or anything.
The sir does not like being woken up by the whistling. But who am I to deny tea to a guest?
You like to piss him off, don't you? Oh, you do. He shows me to the couch before drifting off towards the kitchen, quietly pulling out the teapot, cups, and all sorts of other things in preparation for the tea. Ignore the animosity towards this employer that his words implied. I wouldn't be surprised if Whiskey's own people don't like him. Accepting the quiet and isolation instead, I brace myself for what's to come. In this case, soon apparently means more than 5 minutes or even 10. I sit in their living room just waiting. And waiting. And waiting. And when the kettle starts whistling and the tea has been served, I continue to wait, obviously. At least the silence is relaxing. But then there's a crash. I nearly spill tea all over my lap in surprise, and I look up expecting security to come running. Even the man in the kitchen counter continues to fix breakfast like he heard nothing. I don't want to speak up about it because he looks far too absorbed in his cooking, and I don't want to be the cause of burnt food or worse. However, there's something in me that just wants to figure out what that was, although I'm normally not this nosy. Alright, no, I'm not going to check out. I think that's a better option. Why would I go and check it out? I mean, you are not even... Besides, I'm learning from my mistakes, and I want to try to check out when someone heard something, and I had to go back in the game because it was a mistake. So I think it was a mistake. So yes, I'm going to continue my waiting game. I have no business with it. These rich people usually value their privacy above all else, after all. Unless, of course, they are posting pictures on social media, bragging about what good people they are for allowing themselves to be interviewed or some magazine. Then again, the whole reason I'm in this mess is because I don't give two shits about what goes on with people like them. And I'm not going to get caught snooping about and be accused of some imagined wrongdoing. I'm not going to be some busybody, detective wannabe and run off to investigate whatever it was. It's probably just something mundane anyway, like a lamp falling over. I'm just going to sit here and wait for Miss Wright. With my tea. In complete silence.
Could I at least put the telly on?
I did not expect him to answer. If he hadn't heard the crush, I doubt he would have heard me.
As long as you don't watch some silly soap opera. The LBC News would be fine. The William Walker show is on too if you prefer that. Not that I watch it, but my husband does. The remote is under the coffee table.
Oh, sure. Maybe I'll be lucky and catch the doc on. I heard they're having reruns of the classics and I want to see the second meet sixth in Spain. If not, just the news then. Thank you. I'll let you get on with your cooking now.
Did he just ignore the crush a while ago then? Of course he did. Whatever. Fetching the remote, I turned the TV on in the hopes of filling the silence. Trying to, anyway, because the thing won't turn on. And doesn't that make the silence more awkward or what? I know I might not be the best with tech, but I'm sure I can work a simple television remote.
The batteries must be dead.
What? There is blood everywhere. Help me, it says in red. Wait. Did the guy behind you is blonde? What? I look at my own hands and find them clean, yet I can see my grisly reflection gaping back at me. And though there is nothing staining my skin, I can feel the sticky and warm feeling of blood dropping down my cheeks. But I should be worried. Instead, I feel my attention drawn towards her. Her beautiful blonde hair, her soft lips with skin so fair and swaying hips. I want nothing more than to hold her, plant my lips on her neck and to run my fingers through her hair. She laughs and she smiles when she looks at me, but where are her eyes? Temptation is gone in an instant. I recoil, horrified at this reflection I am seeing. Only to back into something or other. Someone. Miss Wright stands there, twirling a lock of her blonde hair, a soft smile on her lips, and a hand on her hip. I almost back away, but I ground and remind myself that this is my client. And whatever I just saw. Well, it wouldn't be too far-fetched to say that perhaps I'm going to a bit daft. It would be preferable, of course, to think it was all the trick of the night, or the makings of an overactive imagination.
Good morning, Mrs. Wright. I'm sorry, I didn't see you. Have you been standing there long?
No, I just came down and saw you were having a hard time with the telly. We must have forgotten to change the batteries. Are you all right, dear? You're looking a bit pale. Haven't you had breakfast yet?
No, I'm fine. I had breakfast already, Mrs. Wright. I just need...
Well then, you mustn't have had enough breakfast. I'm all for a good diet, but that's the most important meal of the day.
Or so they say.
Johans is cooking up pancakes. Pancakes will make anyone feel better, he always says. We can sit down and tuck in. You'll feel right as rain once we get some fluffy, syrupy goodness in you. And are you sure you're fine, Marianne? You're shaking.
Looking at my hands, I can see them trembling. Really, just because she looks so much like her, I'm becoming a damn train wreck. I've been seeing her in my dreams and hearing her voice ever since I met Miss Wright at the mansion. How come I haven't heard about that yet? With so many blondes in the world, what was different with her? What was different this time? I'm not feeling well, I just remembered something. What? This freaking choice doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know, I just remembered something.
I just remembered something, that's all. It's nothing to worry about.
Are you sure? I am all ears if there is something bothering you.
I still don't understand the choice at all. Like, what's the difference with... whatever.
I don't mind a good story, and I don't want it to affect your work performance.
Gossipy wagon, isn't she? She should just leave you alone. It's not like you need her.
Huh?
You don't have to worry about that, Mrs. Wright. I say business stays business, and anything else can stay in the doghouse until I'm done with work.
Yeah. I just had to bear through it, don't I? If I tell her that I'm hearing voices, that'd be a fast track straight to the nut house. What else can I do? Saying that Difna helped me lest I become like her father Damon. Insane the thought of lost love and mounting the pursuit of another.
Shall we talk about your work then?
If you'd like. It's on your time, after all.
I've been told many good things about you, and I've seen some of your work before. Others speak very highly of your work etiquette. Yet I've never heard of you before, not even a whisper of the McCullough name.
Well, I've only been in Luxbourne for 4 years. Tried to make it big in London for nearly 3 years before. And I've only been working these high-quality projects for the past year.
I stick straight to the point. It's best to be brief when talking to clients, after all, keep it clean cut as much as possible. Yet at the same time I have to make it engaging so it doesn't look like I don't want to talk to them.
I imagine it hasn't been easy. I can't see why you've moved from London to Luxbourne, though.
Job vacancies were fewer at the time, and I had a lot of competition in London. Let's not even talk about the living costs there.
I bet it must suck.
But I'm glad I moved here, even if it hadn't been smooth sailing. If I had it easy, I probably wouldn't be working projects like these.
Why even bother explaining to her? She won't understand. She's practically born with a silver spoon in her mouth. The woman could probably snap her fingers and have servants attending to her beck and call.
She does look the part of a spoiled heiress, doesn't she? It would be a relief if she's just dead. Something that's different from Miss Wright and her. Before she can get another word in, words that may have proven me wrong or right, she looks up at the love with fond expression on her face. With just a glance she can put in so much love that I feel a tad bit jealous of whoever holds it.
Good morning, Luke, darling.
Good morning, ladies. What a wonderful morning it is, that I wake up to such a beautiful sight.
Marianne visited the Wright's penthouse to discuss work with the couple. While waiting for them, as she tried to turn the telly on, she got a glimpse of the horrifying past. Hannah Wright soon showed up, asking a very spooked Marianne if she was feeling well. Wait, what? Horrifying past? Alright, this is getting more and more interesting.
I do hope you two are getting along. I smell pancakes. I do hope you two are considering a diet just so I can have them all to myself.
Don't be a pig, Luke. You eat all of those and you might stop fitting into your tight suits.
What? I'm not a pig. You don't think I'm a pig, do you, Marianne?
With his so smiling and playful wink, I can't help but think you are a bit of a pig. Whiskey!
I don't know, Mr. Wright. I'm an interior designer, not a zoologist.
Ouch! Nice.
The only styles she must be familiar with are statement of works.
Well, don't be a bore. You two might not be in a rush, but I'm going to go ahead and feast.
If you dawdle too long, he'll hog all the syrup.
Rich people are so eccentric.
Come on then, we can discuss business over food.
Can we? There is no denying the clients when they invite me over to the table. For it is too personal to share a meal in their home, it would be terribly rude to deny their invitation. Besides, the pancakes did look and smell heavenly. A bowl of clothed cream, fruits, syrups, jams, all their spreads are laid out next to them, making for a colorful arrangement. If this was a brunch with friends, I would have gladly helped myself to the whole lot. But as it is, I accepted just a few pieces of pancakes and topped it off with lemon and sugar.
You know, I was a tiny bit serious when I said I wanted a helipad.
And you're not serious about the greenhouse, the vineyard, and the stables.
Well, I do want those too, but I know you'll agree to those.
We're talking about interiors here, honey. You don't handle exterior designs, and whatever handles those sorts of projects do you, Marianne?
I'm able, actually, and willing to take a project of that nature. I was an architect in Ireland before. Of course, that's another contract entirely. I also suggest we finish the house itself before working on any additions to the rest of the property. There won't be any problems about ownership this time, will there? Pardon if I'm crossing a line, but the acquisition was rather quick.
Oh, don't you worry. We've got everything sorted this time around. I've talked to Miss Cooper and Mr. John from BRC, as well as the old owners. Everything has been paid in full, and all we're waiting for is the paperwork from the land registry. They're letting us move in as soon as we please. It's not like they were living there in the first place.
You surprised?
That's good to hear. The problems that could arise from renovating another person's home would be... well, let's not dwell on it. First off, we'll want to know how you want the place to look. It's pretty furnished as is, but I understand if you want to modernize the whole thing.
Actually, I'd prefer to keep the place looking as it is, but at the same time, I want modern appliances. You worked on the Ludgate's Christchurch summer residence. I do remember there being an oven I thought was a simple drawer before. Make them look vintage, antique, blended with the rest of the decor.
Customize appliances then. I can't find someone for that, and if you can't tell me what you specifically want, it'll hasten up the process. We're talking about electronic appliance manufacturers. If you have a preferred brand to work with.
Splendid! So, what is next on our agenda? All the other interior designers we've hired in the past did not have us this involved.
I stop. What sort of half-baked designer did that? If I knew who they were, I would have words. This isn't the time or place for it, however. He said I was the brief pause to pull out the floor plans I brought with me.
We'll have to figure out what you want to do with the rooms. Here, we can have a quick run through.
What is that little room next to the master's bedroom?
Oh, as far as I could tell when I saw it, it's a second bedroom of sorts. Used, apparently, for the ladies-in-waiting who has served Lady Charlotte Ermengarde. Which is strange, as that isn't the norm for these sorts of houses.
Well, we're not stuffing Johans in there. He won't fit. You don't suppose we could turn it into a walk-in closet and a dressing room?
I love fashion, but do we really need to turn an entire room into a walk-in closet, dear? We'll have large closets and a wardrobe in the bedroom already.
Huh.
Says the one who takes 3/5 of our closet.
Heh, woman.
Well, what do you suggest we do with it?
I thought a utility room of some sort would be nice. A craft room where I can do fun things.
Define fun things?
Or maybe a children's room might be nice. You know, for when Kylie comes over. Or if Rochelle visits once she's had a baby.
One, you are not inviting that witch.
Yes.
And two, there's a whole mansion for Kylie to play in. We don't need a children's room, and you don't even do arts and crafts. I'd like to turn the guest's room and the study into my personal office, by the way, if you don't mind.
You can turn it into a personal office if I can have my utility room. It's just the one room of the many. I'm taking that room for myself, no matter what you say, dearie. So you might as well take this deal. You're always out doing business anyway. The real problem is the theater. Whatever are we going to do with all that space?
Fine, we could turn it into our own personal cinema, I suppose. Might as well have it, if you plan on not having a telly in the parlor.
Yes, well, I don't want guests to be glued to the telly when they come over for a meal and some tea. By the looks of things, we can keep the rooms as what they are on the ground floor, though. The ballroom would be perfect for parties.
Do we really need a dining hall, though? I don't suppose we can't convert it into a garage.
What for? You can park your cars outside.
What? You have such a huge mansion. You want to park cars outside? That's a no-no.
What about that room? Right there, in the northeast corner.
Why did you say east?
That's sleeping quarters for the household help?
Oh, that is perfect! Johans will be glad if we have other staff members who stayed in. It'd be convenient so they don't have to make the trip from Luxborn to the mansion when they're needed.
Okay, Johannes, some comment?
You'll definitely need a lot more people to maintain a property of this size.
The mansion is really a lot bigger than I thought. Look at all these rooms. I didn't even know there was a music room next to the parlor because of what happened.
There was a grand piano in there too, when we checked during the tour.
Did you hear that, Luke? Maybe you can take up playing the piano again. Oh, you should have seen him when we were younger, Marianne.
It's not like I was very good with the thing.
Oh, hush you. You were no Mozart, but I loved hearing you play nonetheless. He'd come over to my home and he'd play such fun tunes. He'd sing too and I'd dance and it was just...
Mr. Wright playing the piano. I can't imagine it. But the earnest way in which Mr. Wright says so told otherwise.
Anyway, what do you think of these plans, Marianne?
What plans?
Are we not even going to consider one of my requests? Not even just a closet or just a garage? Now, that isn't fair, is it? You're not the only one who's going to be living here.
I hardly see how that's unfair. I told you you're getting your office and your theater, the greenhouse, the vineyard, and the stables. That sounds fair, does it not, Marianne?
Hey? 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 What? Why do you ask me? Hey! It's not my house! What the hell? Alright, let's see, huh? Alright, I don't know. I feel like it's fast. Alright, in this situation, I guess woman would stay on woman's side. Besides, it's kind of fair what they're saying. I mean, he's getting a lot. She's changing just one room, right? So yes, yeah, sure. Miss Wright has her points, for I really didn't want to butt into this part of husband and wife. But with the way the two are looking at me, to settle this I might as well just keep to the facts instead of giving opinion. I'm honestly not sure if this was an important choice or not. Whatever.
Mr. Wright, your plan isn't quite feasible from an architectural perspective. I'm not even sure how much we can do without closer inspection. Well, the one about the garage, at least. A walk-in closet is easy enough, but the garage?
See, a garage isn't architecturally feasible and it isn't going to be financially sound as well. We're already going to spend a lot on your other requests. You have several acres of land to park on already.
What? Did you calculate that on the fly? Financially sound my foot. You're probably just thinking up of imaginary numbers.
Might I remind you that I was a financial manager? I also looked over and approved the expenses of our other houses. I know the rough course of these things by now, love. Masters in Business Administration, major in accounting. Sometimes I think you forget that I'm not as dumb as I act.
That catches my attention more than anything. It sounds more unbelievable than Whiskey playing the piano. She really didn't seem like the type.
Business administration and accounting? What university?
Luxborn U, of course. Go Lux Dragons, red and gold.
Excuse me, how about we move on this chit-chat ahead and do whatever else needs to be done sometime today? I had to cancel my appointments for this, you know. We might as well do a proper inspection with the designer this time, just to get it out of the way.
Yes, no time like the present. You want a thorough inspection? Might as well do it now. We actually took another look at the property yesterday, though it was brief. But I'm sure you would want to see it yourself, to spot anything we might have missed.
Have you missed the ghost? It sounds like I have much of a choice, do I? The mansion's arrangements were discussed over breakfast. During the meeting, the Wright couple had an argument about the mansion's arrangements. In the end, they set up to visit. A visit will settle it. Right. Riding to the Animal Gun mansion in the Rice is an awkward affair. Not only am I worried about scuffing the expensive leather seats, but I'm also worried about getting in the middle of another couple's spot. With the tension thick in the air, I can feel them starting at each other. Anytime. Nobody's saying anything. Up until Mr. Wright tells his wallet to turn the damn radio off. And for a moment I think that he might start. But instead he just stays quiet, and so do the rest of us. In the end, the sufferable silence stays. I have never been so glad to see the house. Well, you know. Stepping out of the car and up to the mansion meant the end of an uncomfortable ride. Sorry, and I can finally take a deep breath of fresh air. The beauty of the place never fails to make me gaze in wonder every time I see it as well. Miss Wright moves towards the front door, keys in hand, and I can already hear Mr. Wright plotting.
Alright, Hans, we're going to go in, but I want you to look around the place. Familiarize yourself with it. Know every nook and cranny, every inch of the lot. Go and see where we can put that vineyard and the other things we talked about. We'll want to know where to station security as well, so go around the perimeter and figure it out.
Scout the property and circle the perimeter on foot. You do know this is 46 acres of land, sir.
Well, you are not driving a car over the grass. Put those long, spidery legs of yours to good use. I didn't hire you to stand around and look intimidating. Go, mush.
Someday I'd like to ask how Johannes can even stand and tolerate the man. Why doesn't he just quit? Certainly the pay can't be that good. Yeah, I bet it is. Even I'm a bit put off by our mutual employer. And the only thing that keeps me from biting is the fact that we've already signed a contract. At least I'll only be working with them during the duration of the project. He works with them every day.
Sometimes I think you hired me to make me suffer for your amusement.
Someday I'd ask. I feel a bit bad for him. If it's any consolation, he'll be away from Mr. Wright, if only for a little while. We're able to enter the mansion after a bit of standing out there in the sun. This red strange sunlight that is far too alien and rare. There had been a bit of a problem with the missus not knowing which key was which. The first item on the agenda will be the grand staircase. It seems started during the open house, but a closer inspection might say otherwise. There are no obvious marks of damage nor wear, and tear probably retreated during renovations. Peeking under the ground carpet, the wood is properly installed with the bark placed down to prevent cupping. The carpet itself could use a vacuum for. Structural conditions, from what I can see without actually dismantling the thing, look to be in a good shape. And the handrails and support posts are firm. The work on it should be commended. I can't look much more at the rest of the foyer, however, because Mr. Wright starts to hurry us into checking the dining hall.
So, what do you think? Certainly we can't turn this area into a garage.
Why would you change dining area into a garage? That doesn't make any sense for.
It's Jacobean architecture. I'd say these would be pilasters and not buttresses, but you never really know. They really liked mixing up these elements. You could say it was pretty avant-garde at the time. We might hit a support beam if we're not careful.
And in layman's terms?
From what I see here, we could risk great damage to the house if we try to turn the dining hall into a garage.
The man didn't look too pleased to this. There's a look of disappointment before his eyes and looks around the place with an air of defeat. When he moves to speak, I dread another unreasonable demand. Again.
This will stay a dining hall then. But if I may have another request instead, at least spruce the place up with some flowers, some plants or something. It feels so old and dead in here.
That's hardly unreasonable. Daffodils are a must, I presume.
The look that passes between the two of them, there's a genuine look of fondness there. This is the first time I've seen such an exchange between the two of them. If anyone are to see them like this, there is little doubt that they loved each other.
Of course, and I want a garden full of them. Now, if you excuse me, I'd like to look at the rest of the house. I'll just be around here downstairs, if anybody needs me.
That leaves Miss Wright and I.
He's quite fond of them, you know.
I can imagine. He looked terribly upset when we told him he can't have his garage.
I meant the daffodils. We always have a vase full of them in every house we own. Somewhere, I'd like to think. They may be about his mother. He never talks about her. I don't even know her name. He likes to flatter, claim that they remind him of me, but he's always loved the flowers, even before we married.
Much like the piano, I didn't take him for a person who liked flowers. Daffodils least of all. What's next? Am I going to find out that Mr. Wright saves kittens from burning buildings?
I'll go and snoop about upstairs. You go and do whatever it is that you have to do.
When she goes without even asking if I need her here, I'm left standing to stare at the walls. Right. Really, I don't need to do a thorough inspection of the building itself. It isn't really part of an interior designer's job. But the architect in me is committed to doing this task with every project. If I'm going to make a living space that have both form and function, I might as well make sure that the entirety of it is safe for my clients. Since I'm already here, I'll roam around the dining hall to check things off my punch list, if you will. But when it's time to move on, I hesitate. Mr. Wright said he would be somewhere around here on the ground floor, and I really didn't want to be alone with whiskey. I have to look through a place eventually, sure, but on the other hand, I can do it later when he's gone. I can go upstairs first if I want to. Which floor should I go to? I mean, you already checked 2 places on the ground floor. And I feel like moving to the first floor and leaving the rest of the ground floor is just weird. Plus, you know, the first floor has the room which I'd rather not let anyone get into. Even for a certain someone can move around the whole house, not only house even for. Let's go ground floor anyway. Alright, just because there is one troublesome client shouldn't mean I'll let him get in the way of my work. The parlor is my first destination. Most because I figure Mr. Wright is hiding down in the wine cellar and making plans there. I'm going to bump into him sooner or later, but I'd rather make it later. Much later. The place upon closer inspection is in good shape. I don't doubt this place was done with the most care, considering it would be one of the first rooms visitors would see during the open house. There's stain on the carpet, most likely by one of the guests at the time, but it isn't anything a good cleaning can get rid of. Next is the music room. Or at least that's the plan.
Locked? Oh, come on now.
I rattled the doorknob again, hard this time, to double check, and it even gave it a good badge to see if it isn't a problem with the door itself. But no, definitely locked. That's weird, considering the rest of the rooms aren't. It could just be this one though, and I can try the other doors of the ballroom if I really want to get in. And that's when I hear it. What? The sound of piano. So it just plays one note over and over again. Ooh. It makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand and I back away from the door. So I wasn't exactly the superstitious sort. What am I going to do? The room is locked. I can just go back to it later. Maybe see if I can go through the ballroom and... Davis ground doors opens, and who else but Luke Wright stands by the doorway. He looks out like a cat that ate a canary, and I didn't appreciate the way his eyes linger on me.
Isn't it common sense the locked doors mean someone wants a bit of privacy? You didn't try and break the door down. Or did you just want to see me again that badly without the misses? I don't see why you would though, Mint. Nothing really happened between us.
Well, I wasn't looking for whiskey. I was just going around to do my inspection. Thought it needed a push, just in case the door was stuck and actually needed repairs.
So you really are some fancy interior designer, huh? Had you told me you were one, I would have called you a piss taker. I figured you'd be, I don't know, an assistant going for a drink after a week with a tosser of a boss.
I'm just glad you thought me any sort of professional with how ossified I was. I must have not looked the part, so I understand your surprise.
He doesn't offer a wit retort and he grows quiet for a moment.
At first glance, Hana didn't look like some fancy finance manager when I first met her either. She was the pretty daughter of this rich, powerful man. When she was introduced, they told me that she was not there as the man's daughter, but as a part of management. I thought it dubious. All the beautiful women I knew before her, they used their looks to get what they want. And there she was, with all that she could ever need in life, and yet she works hard to earn her keep.
It sounds like you admire her.
Hear that? I do can't help but feel admiration for Miss Wright.
You enjoy your job, don't you, Mint?
It helps me earn my keep, as you would put it. A bit strange to say out loud, but it gives me purpose as well.
Do you think then that, maybe, Hana would want to go back to being a working person?
Taken back at his question, I wait for further clarification. What makes him ask this? And why me of all people? Right? You should ask her, she seems content. But when I see that no explanation is coming, I think... You should ask her, man.
Shouldn't you be asking her this? Isn't her opinion much more important than that of someone you just met in a pub a few nights ago?
You're a woman and I figured you might know more. I mean, people are always saying that women are fulfilled by having husbands and having a good home. But then, I see ones like you who look happy having jobs. Maybe she's like you, and having a job would be better for her.
Just because I'm a woman? You do know we don't all think the same way. But I don't know, I'm not married or anything, but this shouldn't be a complicated matter. She's your wife for how many years? Talk to her. Ask her what she wants. Don't you guys talk during supper or something?
That gets him thinking. Or at least it looks like it does.
Well, I should let you get back to work. Thanks for talking with me, I suppose.
Right. But anything goes awry if you take my advice. Just remember that I'm not some marriage counselor. So take it with a grain of salt.
My marriage goes down the shitter, I'll sue you. Noted.
Wait, that's not...
Too late. He takes a step back in the music room, shuts the door and leaves me there looking gobsmacked. He wasn't serious, was he? That man, I don't understand him at all. One moment he's this huge arse, and then he's this person the next.
Odd guy. Still needs a good arse kicking if you ask me.
Right, who the hell is talking to you? Marianne? Okay, so forget about going to the music room then. That's fine, you have to go out there sooner or later. In the meantime, I can go around and check the rest of the house. All my worries fade when I step into the ballroom. And, well, the whole place is just grand, isn't it? I see why the Wrights made sure nobody else would take this place from them. Anyone who has it will certainly be the belle of the ball. It's pretty much one great big status symbol. I don't think I can do much of a thorough inspection in this room, so I note it down for later. Oh. Well, I have bad memories of this place. Moving on to the kitchens, I check the ventilation and general fire safety in the kitchen. This bit is important for a place this size. I would of course suggest bringing an actual fire safety inspector over for a more detailed inspection. It wouldn't do to see such beautiful architecture go up in flames after all. I take measurements of the countertops, cabinets, note down what type of wood they use. They wanted some of these recreated to hide modern appliances. There's a loose floorboard in the farthest corner and some of the other had scratches, but everything else seems to be in decent shape. My concentration is broken when someone knocks.
You can come in. Door's not locked.
I wait, expecting Mr. Wright or their butler to come in. But nobody entered. Instead, there is that knocking again. Oh shit. It's louder and more urgent this time, and I'm sure I didn't lock the thing.
All right. I'm coming. Just hold on.
Oh shit, don't do it. When I move to open the door I realize something. The knocking isn't coming from the door, but from somewhere else. The trapdoor! I pause for a second waiting. But the knocking has not ceased! Oh, fuck. And soon enough it becomes desperate. The dude toots from before switching to what seems to be scratching. Desperate and insistent at once, as if grasping for respite.
Is somebody stuck down there? Fuck!
Where did that come from? How did he even get down there? That put the hard crossway in me. It did. I love cats, but they have no business giving people a fright. For a second there, all those ghastly rumors about this place had come flooding back. Now peering in the darkness of the open trapdoor gets me thinking. It gets me curious. Seriously, I should really make sure there aren't any more surprises from down under. I don't think the Wrights would appreciate if we find a litter of kiddies making a house of the wine cellar. Mr. Wright seemed the type to scare God if any of his precious wines were to be contaminated. Okay, can you close that? I'm done with the kitchens anyway. Are you fucking kidding me? You went down there? I think she really want me to shit myself or something like that. I mean, I don't feel comfortable with going there. Why would I go there? This is ridiculous. Can we go back immediately up? Going down a flight of stairs while wearing high heels is always a bad idea. Going down in a freaking creepy mansion is always a bad idea. Descending to the dark underground only made it worse, but I managed. Anyhow, without any major slip-ups.
These stairs need work, that's for sure.
Yeah. Surprisingly, the wine cellar is in good condition. No water damage from last year's flooding, and apart from the dust and cobwebs that have accumulated, the place will likely hold for several more years. Racks and barrels line the walls, making the spacious room look smaller than it is. I'm no expert, but it looks good enough for immediate use without any further additions. Bloody whiskey will be having a field day. I think so anyway, until I feel something crash beneath my feet. Whatever few bottles were left behind here are now nothing but glass under my heels. The cat's fault, I wager. and it made a downright mess, with red sleek pooling from the remnants of a good drink. Anyone else having a bad feeling that this might not be wine? There's a lot of stuff for it to have just been a few bottles full. A whole trail of it flows from the end of the room, and I follow, fully expecting a leaking barrel or a whole upturned rug. He said just keeps on going and stops in a large puddle at the very back wall.
What a waste of wine. Why is it so sticky though? Ugh.
It's fig too, nothing like wine. Of course, it could just be mold.
Maybe it's not wine. Go on, touch it. I dare ya.
Who the hell are you, Blondie? Despite it all, I find myself answering. Because it's her voice. Emmy Lorraine. Okay, he doesn't tell me anything. Lovely Emmy, pretty Emmy. I still don't understand. I can imagine her standing there with me, laughing and pestering me as I did my work in the way only friends can. She was my friend, the only one that I had at some towns. I was a scholar, a charity case in a school for privileged and prestigious young girls. They all looked down to me, if they cared to look at me or acknowledge my presence at all. All except her. Sometimes I wish for the good old days when we were friends. Now, she's nothing but a ghost, for I try so hard to get over her. I really do.
What am I, 5 years old? Oh, damn it, it's stuck under my shoe.
I double dare you. Hell, I double dog dare you. Don't be such a scaredy cat. It's probably wine.
Well,
What else could it be? Blood?
yes, correct. I bet it's it.
Don't be ridiculous. Why would there be blood down here?
Yeah, I wonder. If I was the joking sort, I would have said it might be the reason why the previous owner sold the place. Maybe the ghost stories are actually true, and they wanted to get away from the walls and that dripped of ectoplasmic goo and whatever other ghouls hunted about. Doubt it. I don't. I hardly believe in any of that voodoo nonsense as this. And yet you are talking to a ghost! But as I stared at the mess at my feet, probably looking like a fool while I'm at it, I noticed something strange. It isn't visible unless one is really paying attention, but I can see the red gunk seeping through a crack in the wall.
What's this then?
I worry about structural damage and damage to the foundation. I worry about the wine cellar as the wrong conditions can lend to the deterioration of its contents. If temperatures and humidity are not controlled, then please don't tell me somebody. Up until I see how clean cut the crack is. It runs through the edge of the wall and vertically along it, where a door would be. Pressing my hand against the wall lends credence to the idea as I try to feel where it would give away.
Ooh, could it be an adventure then? A secret passage? There must be a hidden switch somewhere. Go look! This is the most interesting thing you've done by far.
If there's a hidden room here, that would certainly explain the discrepancy in the mansion's floor plans. It wouldn't be too far-fetched to think that there could be hidden rooms and passageways all over the house if we were to follow its logic. And boy, isn't that exciting. No! This feels like something straight out of the game. Suddenly, she touches my arm and I flinch away in shock. That should be possible. I understand auditory hallucinations, maybe even visual hallucinations, but that was...
You look surprised. What's wrong?
You? That's not possible. You're...
That.
Aren't you happy to see a dear old friend, though? I'm hurt, I am.
What the hell is going on here?
Oh, isn't it obvious? I come back for you.
Hey.
So that we can be together again.
Hey. Well, you can go back and wait, damn it! When she touches me once more, I recoil. What does she mean together again? She's dead!
No! Leave me alone!
Leave you alone? But I just got here.
Hey. Turning around, I am met with the Ryan's butler, who looks at me with an indifferent look. And when I look back, Lorraine is gone.
I wasn't talking to you, just thinking aloud is all.
You should really avoid talking to yourself, Kint. Do more of that and others will think you're insane.
Huh. You don't say.
Yes, thank you. Is that all you're here for, or has your master sent you running down here for something?
Oh, no, I am just down here to admire the place. I've not been inside before. I thought I would look around before we return to the city. The car is already running, you see, and I suggest you go back to the foyer, unless you wish to be left behind. It seems you are in good company already, after all, with this house and your imaginary friend.
Wait, we're leaving already? But I haven't finished inspecting the rest of the house.
Be that as it may, there's a sulking man-child up there who wishes to go home. We are all subject to his whims, lest he throw a tantrum.
I can't help but smile at that. He's a strange guy. I still can't imagine how he can work for a guy like Luke Rifle. I imagine the blonde arse ain't an easy guy to get along with. Whatever the butler was having to tolerate that, I want 10 of it.
And we wouldn't want any soiled knickers or spilled milk. Why don't you go head on and I'll be right there.
Very well. Do be careful on your way back. I saw some broken glass on the way and it would not do to cut yourself on them.
I will, yeah. Just tell Mr. Wright not to blow a gasket or anything. I'll be just a minute.
Speaking of blowing gaskets, there is something else dangerous here. Whatever is behind the door, it could pose some problems. Best case scenario, it would only ruin good stocks of wine. But who knows what's behind that false wall. Who cares? I don't! I'll have to come back to it. No, you don't have to do that. Alright, let's end the episode, and we'll continue this tomorrow. Is it weird that I actually get a little worried when I'm playing this game? Maybe it's because I'm not good with horrors and so on. Anywho, for now, hope you enjoyed it. We'll continue tomorrow. Hope to see you there. Bye bye.